G'day folks, RACV's Handy Andy back again, and this time we're going to be looking at how you can freshen your home up with just a coat of paint. As always, safety always comes first. So we've got some gloves, we've got our well-fitted dust mask, our goggles. Of course we're going to need some paint, but also a paint roller, a ladle, a paint stirrer. We're going to need some sugar soap, some drop sheets, some painter's tape, some appropriate paint brushes, sanding block there, and some cling wrap. And of course, always handy to have plenty of rags on hand.
The trick to a good paint job is even better preparation. The wall we are painting here is in quite good condition, so we'll only need to give it a light sand with a fine grit sandpaper, always moving in a circular motion to prevent sanding lines into the existing paint. Loose paint should be scraped off and cracks filled where required. Once the wall is sanded, we'll need to give it a good wash down with sugar soap. This will help not only remove dust, but also grease and grime that may have built up, which will prevent the paint from adhering properly. After washing, make sure the surface being painted is completely dried with a clean cloth. Next, any surfaces we don't want to paint should be taped up with painter's tape. I thoroughly recommend spending a little extra time and money at your local hardware getting the correct tape for the job, as it will help provide a better finish and prevent a lot of anguish during removal later on. A drop sheet should be laid over flooring or any furnishings that can't be removed. I like to use heavy drop sheets as they tend not to move or tear as easily. Old curtains make perfect drop sheets. Before using any brushes or rollers, new or old, it's always a good idea to give them a quick wash in clean water to remove any lint or dust. Now we're ready to start painting, the first thing we must do is open and stir our paint. Using a paint stirrer, spend a few minutes making sure the paint resembles one colour throughout and all tints are mixed in. Do this by moving the stirrer from top to bottom in a circular motion. Cutting in is the process of painting around the edges and corners of the broader area we're painting, where a paint roller won't fit, and is usually done with a smaller size brush. Once again, I suggest you spend some time when choosing a paintbrush to ensure the brush is suited to the size of the job at hand. Due to cutting in not needing large amounts of paint, we can pour a small amount of paint into a smaller container. This will make moving around, especially up and down ladders, much safer and easier. Carefully apply paint to all edges, corners and areas not large enough to paint by roller. Your cutting in should be wide enough to make it easier to roll paint up to the adjacent surface without risking getting any paint where it shouldn't be. In between coats, to save washing your cut-in brush, simply wrap it in cling wrap. This will keep it wet and ready to paint with again for up to a few days. Starting the rolling process as soon as possible after the cutting in is finished will increase your chances of a smooth finish where the brushed and rolled paint meets. Using your ladle, place an ample amount of paint into your roller tray. Then, coat the entire roller with an even amount of paint by dipping and then rolling the roller in the tray's corrugations. When starting to roll paint onto any surface, use a W-shaped motion to spread the paint across a small section. Once the paint has been laid onto the wall, we need to back roll before moving on. Back rolling helps give the paint a smooth and even finish and is done by applying one long continuous roll from top to bottom or bottom to top, slightly overlapping the roller with each stroke. Don't be concerned if the paint doesn't appear to be even straight away. This will become less apparent once the second coat is applied, and the final results are not often properly seen until the paint is completely dry, which takes many hours. Do not attempt to go back and touch up, as this usually leads to patchy paintwork. In between coats, just as we did with the brush, the roller can be kept ready for another use by using cling wrap. A second coat of paint should be applied in exactly the same way as the first coat. A good quality brush and roller, when cleaned thoroughly, can be put away to paint another day. Now all that's left to do is stand back and admire your freshly painted home. For more tips, visit our website